Welcome everybody. Let's go ahead and do a mic check. Let's check on things. You guys could see that beautiful AI generated image from one of our users in Discord. Type in the chat if you guys could hear me. Let me know. Sounds great. Thank you, Rips. Rips is in the house. I don't have a sound, but just imagine some sound. Let's go ahead and give me just 2 minutes and we'll get started. Both speakers, yeah, I adjusted the speakers. I also adjusted my platform so you guys won't get any PTSD if you hear order filled in the background. I know it does that for me as well. And slow mode is off. How about that? No slow mode in slow markets? What is going on with that? And also I'll give everybody a couple minutes to join the stream as well. Let's see here. I'm getting a couple links and then we will be good to go. So we have an echo. Can you guys hear an echo? Let's see if that is Danielle is saying there's an echo, like the background, small echo in the background. Let me do just a little bit of a sound adjustment. No echo. Okay. Well, there we go. I don't want to sit here and like put the mic right up into my mouth, but some are saying there is an echo, but some is not. Yeah, there's definitely an echo, but it's faint. Let me adjust it a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and test this to see if the echo has gone at all. We'll see it. Maybe I need to invest in some of the soundproofing. This is one of the best mics available in the market. It's a Shure mic, but we should be good. You guys can hear me in both of your speakers tonight. Let's see. Make sure everyone can hear me in both my speakers. You could see me. I look good. You could see the beautiful chart in the background, and we should be good to go. How about that? Does that work? Maybe if this works. I had YouTube up. I'm going to go with it. And we have the amazing Danielle in the background who's going to be feeding me some of your guys' questions. So let's start. Welcome to Slow Markets again. I'm Coach Dakota. Copy paste some cheesy intro. I was going to steal Jim Cramer's and put a tweak on it like I did yesterday, but I better not so I don't get any copyright and Topstep just gets mad at me. But I'm going to go ahead and paste our risk disclosure in the chat. So give me a moment because we are going to be talking about the live markets. You can see the live markets in the background. And as you'd imagine, there's the risk disclosure in our YouTube chat. I'm going to be talking about the live markets. We're going to be doing live market analysis. And everything I say is for educational purposes only. And here's a big shout out to Topstep, especially Hogue and Danielle and the Topstep team. This is just another reason why I love Topstep. After the New York session closed, I got a message from the Topstep team. It says, hey, Dakota, you posted a trade call out kind of in the Topstep YouTube where I was short the NASDAQ. And Topstep's really pushing for transparency. And I love it. It says, next time you ever want to talk about trading call outs, let us know what account you're using. And I loved that. I love the fact that Topstep is really pushing for transparency. I think that continues to prove to me that I'm helping the right company. I'm helping the traders, understand we are here at the right company. There is a great opportunity here at Topstep, and it's pure transparency. Yeah, don't worry, Robert. I see you. Robert, you are one of the newest members on our trading team. It looks like we got 3 of us here. Me, Rips, and Robert. We are the big tick swingers. We are getting prepared. We are talking behind the scenes to prepare for the Topstep Trading League, or the TTL, that's going to be coming up in June. Excited to start that. Like with anything, right? What is this? Is this considered our off season to get ready for to show up on stage? We will see. Can you guys see my charts in the background? I have it as the background. How's the quality? How is the quality for everybody? This is I have the capability on my computer build to stream everything in 4K. So let me know what the quality looks like for you. You should have that option on YouTube for 1440p if you guys wanted to. And then you could adjust it in the YouTube, which is nice. If your computer is a little bit sluggish, maybe you could drop the quality. But yeah, we get quality in after dark, right? Thank you. Thanks, everybody. So let's dive into it. If you guys have any questions, post it into the chat. And if I miss it, go ahead and copy and paste that question. Like I said, we have a lot of people, and if you guys have a lot of questions, I might not get to them all, but you can definitely copy and paste. And Danielle is behind the scenes, and she's amazing. She's going to be helping me make sure I get to all of the good questions. Try and focus those questions on what I'm talking about so I could have some good conversation. But then typically at the end of class, this class is about an hour. Typically at the end, I will be doing a Q&A. Just open it up and we'll do some Q&A near the end after we get through most of my analysis. So let's get into it. Let's dive into the markets. I actually want to start on crude oil. Who was here from yesterday? I want to get a count. Let's see. Who was in my yesterday's class for slow markets? Let's see who is all in here. If I want to go over this crude oil trade because this was such an amazing example last night. Light, Mike, Austin. Oh, it looks like we got a lot of repeat. I love to see that. And where are you guys from? Rips was here. Where are you guys from? I'm really curious because this is definitely a different group than the regular day session during the New York. Vancouver, Canada, Houston, Philippines. This is my YouTube channel. North Carolina, Miami, Hawaii. So, we got somebody from Utah as well. Robert's from Boston. Oh, we got people from everywhere, mostly the States. Oh, Packerland. I seen that one. Okay. There's some Utah. What about international? Let's shout out to some of our international. I seen in Australia. This chat's moving pretty dang quick. Michigan. Yeah, you could see this is another example of how diverse we are here at Topstep and why I'm really motivated to have this slow markets class, because we have you guys, traders around the world, and you might not be able to trade during the New York session. So we have this beautiful opportunity to trade during the Asian and the London session. So let's dive into this crude oil, and then we'll go over everything, and maybe I can answer some questions. I've seen some of your guys' questions in there, and maybe going over why I use a 100 tick chart and some of those others. But last night we had a really amazing example of a trade setup, and it worked out really uncanny on how well it would have worked out. So here's crude oil. You guys could remember this is the daily chart. I love to start on a daily chart. And you guys remember my analysis from yesterday. I'm looking for oil to continue to test this level, and I'm planning and I'm looking for a breakout to see if we could hit above $80 a barrel and maybe up above and beyond. And we're not getting a big sell-off. I mean, from a long-term perspective, this is a type of pattern that we typically like to look for. And when we break out, we could break out really strong. And so I'm still bullish, obviously. We're continuing to make lower, higher lows. So every one of these lows, it's higher and higher. And we did have a little bit of a fake out today. And let's zoom in so we can continue our further analysis, because it's pretty simple and obvious. We only get one candlestick every day, right? So nothing changes too dramatically on the daily. So let's do that. Let's zoom into an hourly chart. There we go. And I will get it to where I don't have to change too much. So this is where we were at yesterday, somewhere like this, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see if I could find a good timestamp. Actually, we were right here, somewhere around here. This is about where we were at yesterday night. And we were talking about what's a good trading concept. How can we take an overnight trade? How can we take advantage of the trades and overnight movement? So if you guys could remember where I was looking and we was talking, and this was just an example. Unfortunately, I didn't take this trade. I really wish I would have, but it spilt milk. Would have, could have, should have. But I think this gives a really good example of an opportunity to take advantage of the trades overnight. So if you guys can remember, the way that we could is using a limit order. So that means I'm going to talk just like we were talking last night, and feel free to go through the recording. I think they're posted on the Topstep YouTube, which is nice. You could always access the recordings. Was if the market sells off, and you could remember what we were talking about last night, we could put a buy limit order here, and then maybe use a stop loss at, I think we even said 77. If you guys remember, throw those numbers in there because I have horrible memory. So this is something I was looking at last night, and then a take profit up here, maybe get into 2 contracts and then let one run. And you know what? This was a perfect example. What happened last night? We were sleeping. I was sleeping. The market kept moving. This is an hourly chart. Sure enough, it went down and it hit. Well, like this was a beautiful looking trade, and it sure enough rallied, right? And it gave that beautiful setup. This is a way. This is an example. We're not fighting for little movements here during slow markets. We can catch movements like this. If you did, amazing. I didn't. I wish I would have. This would have been a great way to take advantage of that. However, we are setting up, and this is something that I'm looking at right now in oil, because we're bullish. We did just break out of pretty much this resistance, right? You can see this as resistance. We broke out. We went up and we tested, 78, 91, 92, and now we're pulling back. And you guys know how simple I like to have my charts. And as the more simple I could keep my trading strategy, the better it is for me. So when we break out of resistance, what happens? There's a big percentage of the time is we pull back and resistance becomes support. Support becomes to resistance, right? So is this an opportunity? Remember, this is an hourly chart. So, we had a nice sell-off, and now we're kind of consolidating, maybe showing we had that 3-bar reversal right here. This is the doji, the apex candle. We did cross that. I wasn't looking at the charts, and maybe this was a good opportunity where we sold off. We're at support. We're consolidating. We're finding buyers back where resistance used to be. And so, the question that I ask, and like, how can we take advantage of that? Are we going to have another push up and maybe make that big run up to $80 a barrel? Or do we sell off and come back down to this range? We just don't know, right? However, we do want to put ourselves in an opportunity and in a position to take advantage that if the market moves and it moves in the direction that I believe we're going, then I want to take advantage of it, right? So how can we do that? Well, it's the same thing that we were just talking about, was we could use limit orders or we could use stop orders. And it's pretty much the same thing. Is I would look for areas of opportunity where I could limit my risk, right? Where we're risk managers first and foremost, and where's an area we could limit risk. So the first one I'm seeing is, this to me seems like a really decent area that we might have an opportunity to limit risk, where I can definitely see maybe some stop losses down here. If we're looking to get into a long, maybe we get in using a buy limit somewhere down here for consolidation. Or maybe, remember the other order that we could use a buy stop. So for example, we could use a buy stop if we continue to break out, and maybe we use some targets back up into here. Or if we are looking for that long term, we look for even a bigger move. So those are the two trading ideas that I'm looking at right now. And so the next thing we want to do is we're going to zoom into a 5-minute chart now. And then we're going to start to see the market in a more granular. And let's take a look. All right, give me a second. There we go. So now we're starting to zoom in, and now we could be more accurate. We kind of start to pinpoint where we want to put our orders for the night. So the first thing I'm looking at is, of course we would have loved to get in earlier, but do we want to get in using a buy stop, or do we want to be getting in using a limit order? Now, if we're using a limit order, this is something I'm actually looking at. Maybe we want to get a really good price. So if I believe the market could sell off, maybe the market wants to sell off, and we could find some buyers right around $78 a barrel, and I have my stop loss hidden, say around 77.80. So I'm risking 20 cents per trade. Let me go ahead and put this trade in just so you guys could see the prices. So, and you can see you don't have to listen to my platform and give you guys some PTSD. So this is an example. I'm risking 20 cents, and this is saying the market will need to sell off very much like last night, trigger me into a long, and then have a push up. For this, I definitely believe, maybe we could come up and see some of these highs. Maybe we look to take profit here. This is a relatively cheap trade. I'd only be risking $200. I am trading a 150K account. I like to risk 0.25% or 375, give or take. So I would be okay with using 2 contracts on this. So I'm risking $400, and maybe I get a take profit of 1 contract here. And then I leave a runner on to see if we could even have a really big rally. And maybe I look for $80 a barrel. Of course, that's on an extreme. Maybe I just leave a runner. Maybe I don't even have a second take profit. A lot of times I will just let a runner go. And so immediately after looking at this trade, we want to analyze our risk reward, right? I'm always talking about risk reward here. Is I'm risking, 20 cents per contract. And I'm looking to make, let me just do this for math purposes, and I'm looking to make $800. So this is a good 4-to-1 risk reward. It can actually be a lot better because I'm going to be letting 1 contract run. So this, as of right now, the way I have this set up, this is a good 4-to-1 risk reward, meaning, I'm okay if I lose this 25% of the time. I would still be profitable if I make profitable 30% of the time. It's profitable for me, right? So this is an example. I'm actually debating putting on this trade. I put that risk disclosure in here. Like I said, this is a perfect example of getting in using a limit order, and then maybe just letting a runner run. So now, if the market just continues to go up, I won't be triggered in. And sometimes this is frustrating because the market will just run up and I'm going to be missing it. And for these orders, because I'm starting to get some questions from Danielle about trailing, I put these orders in and I'll just go to bed. And when I'm sleeping, I don't trail it. It's literally a set it and forget it type of trade. I know what my max loss is, and I know what my max profit is. So if I place this trade as an example, I will go to bed and I know the worst case scenario and the best case scenario. If I wake up, worst case scenario, I lose $400. Big deal. Best case scenario, I wake up and we break out. I have $800 locked in as profit, and I have a runner. That's great, right? So knowing that, I'm perfectly fine going to bed. There's no wrong way to trade it. Maybe you want to trail it. Maybe you want to use a similar concept and tweak it in your own way, which I definitely recommend that. Don't do exactly what I'm doing. Do it that fits your own trading style. Maybe you're using indicators. Maybe you're using something else, right? So we have one question. What happens if it goes up rather than down and hits that sell limit? Will it put you in a short? And I think I get this question, a lot. Yeah, these are OCO. So one cancels other. These are the only way this will get triggered in, and it depends on what platform you're using, is I can set it to where this is the only active order. And once this order is triggered, then my stop loss and my take profit gets triggered. If right now I put this trade in and the market decides just to rally and keep going, I would not get into a short because it's not active. It's only active based off of this order. So I hope that makes sense. There's lots of educational videos out there depending on what platform you're using. I really, really strongly recommend, practicing using your own platform, using it in a demo account, and then getting used to it. I'm trading on NinjaTrader. I'm slowly switching over to Topstep X. Topstep X is going to be amazing. All of the features that we want as traders, we're going to be able to customize it. It's built by traders for traders, which is amazing. And Robert's there. He'll be able to, if he wants to, answer some of those questions because he knows a lot more than I do on Topstep X and the other platforms. I'm just using NinjaTrader. It's my personal preference. So this is an example using a buy limit to get in, right? The other option, so now let's adjust this. If we believe the market could just rally from right here, what's another option we could use to get into a long? Because we did our analysis on the hour. Now we're doing the analysis on a 5 minute, and we're zooming in, right? So say this is what I want to do. I now want to get in using a buy stop, saying that I would like to get in if we start to break out. Well, that's the buy stop. So right now, the way I'm looking at it is maybe you want to buy stop here. And let's zoom in a little bit so you could see it. So you guys could see it better. So here's the last pivot. There we go. And what this is saying is if we decide to, come on. So if we decide to break out and up, then it will trigger me in. And maybe I put my stop loss here. Order submitted. And then I can have my take profits. So now this goes back to the same examples I was talking about last night. Every trade is not exactly the same. However, typically for me and the way that I trade, my take profits for buy stops and my stop losses. So my trades where we're having breakouts using buy stops, typically for me, they're 1-to-1 risk reward, give or take, right? Because nothing's exactly perfect. However, this is a little bit more probable. So the odds of this trade working out is more likely rather than the other trade, right? Because this trade is, I'm getting triggered in as we go in the direction that we want us to go. The other one is I'm getting triggered in as the market's going against me. So if we have one big move in any direction, I'll be making money if we go up using a stop order. But the other one, that limit order, I won't even get triggered, or I would actually lose money if it keeps going down, right? Or I might not even get triggered in if it goes in my direction. So it is a give or take, because we can't have it both ways, right? We can't have an amazing risk reward and an amazing win percentage over a long run. That's typically not how it works unless you're an amazing trader and you have such a great edge. It's just basic statistics, right? Sell limit for 1 gets hit. Does that standing stop change, or does it stay at 2 contracts? That's the beauty, Michael, of using OCOs. For example, if I have a take profit of this, say 1, and then I have another take profit up here, right? If you set it up correctly and the market rallies and you get triggered in and it comes in, it hits your first take profit, then that should adjust your stop loss to 1. That's the point of 1 cancels the other. Let's do another analysis on the NASDAQ. Let's talk about the NASDAQ for a little bit, and then we will do some questions. But Segi, I've been trading for a little over 14 years, and I've been trading this style during slow markets, during the slowest time of the market. And the reason for that is because I was going to college, I had a part-time job, and the only time I could trade was right before I go to bed. And this happens to be that one time, 1 to 2 hours right before bedtime. I'll do this exact same analysis, place my orders, I'd go to bed, and then I'll wait till tomorrow, and I'll do the same thing. Thanks. I am relatively young. I just turned 30 in October, so that is relatively young. Now let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Let me go ahead. So real quick, there was one question asked. Let me go back to the... Actually, I'll just answer it right here. So we had a question saying, would the take profits be different depending whether it's a buy stop or a buy limit? Typically, no, because you still have your expected where the market's going to go. However, depending on what your risk is, maybe just depends on you, right, as a trader. For me, typically, my target will not change. However, if I am using a buy limit, I'm getting a better risk reward. So sometimes I'll lower my target to increase the probabilities, right? So let's do some NASDAQ. I looked at the NASDAQ today, and what an amazing day. You can see here on the NASDAQ, you guys could see, right? Where, I could sit here and I could point it out. We had this. You could see this pullback and this entry. I can't be a weatherman yet. And then I could say, we have this one right about here. And it's essentially the same thing from what I can tell on the way the NASDAQ has been acting, just by the dips. Sure enough, we had this and immediately shot right back up, right? So it's the same thing. We sold off and we had this beautiful reversal candle, and then sure enough today, this is a huge move, right? This is a really big move in the NASDAQ. What was it? What was today? It was from 676 to 18,000. So 400 points, just over 400 points in a day. That's big. What happens when we have a big move like that? Is there a big move lately? This is the daily chart on the NASDAQ. We did have a couple big days. Here, right? Here's a couple big days. This is the most similar price action that I've seen back in January 8th, where we did have, a similar move, right? We had a sell-off. We had indecisive candle. We were at resistance that became support. And then we had a huge move. And then after that big move, we got continuation. And, same here. Maybe we had that big move. We broke to an all-time high. And then we got continuation as well. So I believe in the way that, and if we're just doing based off of very simple technical analysis, are we going to see the same thing? So if we had a really big move, tomorrow, can we expect just continuation? And if we do, how big of a continuation move are we going to get? Because here's the all-time high. We're not very far from the all-time high, 121.5. That's the all-time high. And we're really close. So if we break through an all-time high, what are we going to see? I'm really curious. I mean, we had a pullback, and in one day, we just erased all of it. So I don't want to say it's a double top. I think we might see something like this, maybe, where we had a really big move, and we closed just below an all-time high. So if we zoom out and we go back to here, like just going back in time, and we closed right before an all-time high, the very next day, we had tons of momentum, right? And we had another huge, 300-point day. So maybe we get something like that. I'm not sure. Like I said, anything can happen. But typically, after a day like yesterday, a lot of times we can see some continuation. That's what I'm going to be playing going into tomorrow and looking for that break of an all-time high. So let's zoom in. This is a daily. Let's zoom back into an hourly chart. And there we go. I did take a loss last night. If you guys remember this trade I had when we came to this resistance, I just took an ugly loss. It wasn't good at all. It was just up and up and up. There's no pullback, right? Of course, before I get into being a bull is how do we get into the market? Like this is as simple of a trade as it is. It's just buy. It's going up and to the right. You can see there's been pullbacks. We were looking at that big move. Like we have had pullbacks, right? Like a pullback move. That's typically how a market works is we do get pullbacks before continuation. And so looking at the way the market acted today, I mean, this is an hourly chart and I don't see much in the terms of a pullback. I mean, you can argue we had some indecisive and consolidation here in the morning. Maybe we can argue that we got a pullback in the afternoon. Let me zoom in a little bit better. So you could argue this was a pullback. That's not much of a pullback. I mean, what was it? Less than 100 points worth of a pullback. I'm not sure. That's a tough one because being a buyer, how can we buy this market? Like where can we limit risk? And if we do believe the market's going to break out, and right, look, there's the all-time high, and here we are. Yeah, I'm just looking at this. Now looking at this, we did pull back, and here was the pivot from February 16th. We broke out, we pulled back, and this used to be resistance. Resistance is becoming support, and we can see that in multiple occasions, right? Resistance is becoming support, and we held above that. So was that the pullback? Was that the opportunity to get in long? I hope not. I really want a better opportunity to get in long. It's very hard to just click buy, and especially after we moved so far. I think that's such one of the hardest things is trading is, did I miss an opportunity? Is there going to be another one? Do we just buy? I mean, it would have worked out today, right? Just close your eyes and buy the market and know that in the next 10 minutes, we're going to continue to be higher. As easy as that sounds, it's very hard when it comes to like, where can I put my stop loss? How can I get into this market? The first area that I'm looking at is the way that I can limit risk is possibly using a stop loss below 18,000, below this pivot. But then again, I'm about 50 points away from the market. If I'm 45 points away from the market, 50 points away from maybe another decent breakout from this consolidation. So I'm very indecisive on how to get in the market. And so this is the thing. I might be super bullish, and I might want to just find every opportunity to get in long for a breakout to a new all-time high. But even though I'm super bullish, it's just very hard to find an entry to get in long. Maybe that's just me, and it's just the way I trade. But even applying that same concept, right? Do I use a buy stop? Do I get in using a limit order? How do I get in to take advantage of a move overnight? Because that's very hard to do. Maybe we look at this as consolidation and we get in using like maybe a buy stop here. And I mean, immediately I would look and see a stop loss there, and then see if we could have a push to all-time highs, right? So maybe an order like this, that's a lot of risk for a mini. So I would actually drop down to a micro, right? So I would drop down to a micro. Let's do that. So this is a mini where I'm risking $20 per point. I would need to drop down to a micro, and in order for me to feel comfortable with that type of a risk, so here's the micro, and we'll do the same thing, okay? So if I was to get in using a buy stop, I would look for something around here. Let me see. Oh, I'm still in. There we go. I'm just going to do it on the what's going on here. There we go. So pretend this is a micro, okay? I know it's showing a mini, but let's just pretend. If this was a micro, I would only be risking $2 per point. I would most likely, let's say if I actually like to hide my stop loss a little bit better than that 18,000 psychological level, maybe right there. But for the sake of easy math, I'm going to do round numbers. Okay, 18,000, and let's just say I'm going to get in at 50. So I'm risking 50 points, which will mean I'm risking $200 per contract, right? And so for me to reach where I want to risk, 375. So I'm risking $100, or actually, $100 per contract in micros, not minis. Then I would need to increase my position size, right? So that way I'm risking, $300 to $400. So for this example, I would be getting into 4 micros, and it's $2 per point. I'm risking 50 points. And then I'd be looking for a take profit. Maybe being into multiple contracts, that allows me some flexibility to maybe get in, get out at multiple locations. And then maybe I just let one run, because if we break to all-time highs, I definitely would love to have a runner. So maybe something like this, where I'm risking $400. We do break out. I will go down to a 5-minute chart, and then I could be a bit more accurate on a 5-minute chart. So here's a 5-minute. I could be a bit more accurate. Maybe I could limit my risk a little bit more. That actually doesn't look too bad for there. And then, maybe something like this. Remember, this is just an example. And then I just let some run. I don't want to get filled, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Let's do some more questions. We still have 20 minutes. We're going to do some more questions, and then we could analyze even some more. This has been going really smooth, to be honest. A lot smoother than I thought, because the official start date is not until Monday. I was thinking that we might be running into some more hurdles. Dakota, can you share where I can learn about tick charts, please? There's a lot of resources online. Second, where you can just Google, tick charts. I like to use 100 tick charts. Maybe I could talk to some of the other coaches, and we could just have a a recorded class on how to use a tick chart, that would make sense to me. You love the clarity of the stream. What do you mean? Is it because it's a beautiful resolution? It is a higher resolution than you guys are probably used to in terms of the chart. And I have a cinema camera that I'm using, so the camera is pretty nice as well. Yeah, so hopefully it's good. I mean, you guys could see my charts pretty good, and when I zoom in, and if you don't, and then maybe I'm always open for suggestions. We're always open for suggestions to see if everything looks okay. I mean, I do have, because we're doing, transparency. I mean, I have ability to just pop up what accounts I'm using, what accounts I'm trading. I put in some trades earlier when we opened on some combine accounts that I'm playing with. Let's see. Okay. Any questions about the market, guys? Come on. What time do you wake up in the morning? It depends. When I wake up, I usually don't trade. I don't trade typically until right now. I mean, this is my normal trading. You guys, as I go through this analysis, you're probably going to start, and on these future streams, a lot of my analysis is me thinking out loud, so that way I can be, the way I'm talking and the way I'm saying these things is the exact same way I look at this market when I'm alone, right? I'm just trying to talk through my trades, talk out loud, talk through these trades, and trying to be as transparent as possible, right? How do I get in contact with my risk manager? Andrew, I would just reach out to Topstep. Yeah. Do you have a list on the TV micro contracts? There is a list of the contracts that we trade here at Topstep. Where can we find NVIDIA earnings report and how it affects the NASDAQ? You could just Google NVIDIA earnings report, but I don't know exactly how it affects the NASDAQ, because, to be honest, that report moved the entire market. Like, everybody was so hyper-focused on NVIDIA earnings, and as soon as they beat, the entire market just rallied, like, everywhere. It was really broad, and everyone was super hyper-focused on one stock's earnings. Like, that's how powerful, and what pretty much everybody was just watching, which is so interesting to me on how one stock could have so much power in the entire market. Wags, do you take a trade every night? Nope, I don't. So far, there's some nights I go, like, you can see, I do my analysis to two markets I've analyzed, and sometimes I don't even place a trade, which, yes, it's going to be very, I use the word boring. What do we say? Peaceful, relaxing, knowing that, there's no trade that's setting up. I'm a big poker player. If you guys have known me or seen any of my streams, I am a big poker player, and very much like poker, if you guys played Texas Hold'em, you don't play every single hand, and you only wait until the market gives you what you're looking for and gives you what you want, and then you put some risk into the markets. Number one is just don't lose money. You guys seen me on the leaderboards. I've lost money. I made $86,000 in a month, and I've gave $35,000 back. In my live account, I've only gave $10,000 back. I'm sitting at a $50K account, and $50,000 was my max loss limit. Let me see. I think I could even switch to it. Let's see. It takes a minute to load up. But yeah, so essentially, don't lose more than what you should. In terms of, it's very easy to make money. It's very easy to lose money, but it's almost impossible to keep, right? Because you make it easy come, easy go, all that conversation. Made 86,000, 84, whatever my high watermark is. And then I gave some of it back. And I said, you know what? If I get to 50, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go slow. I'm going to start taking some payouts and start fresh, right? JR, do I ever scalp at times? All the time. I love trading the New York session. Don't get me wrong. Just because I trade tonight, just because I trade slow markets, and this is how I learned, and this is my main way of trading, doesn't mean I don't like to trade the New York. I love trading the New York session and trading, volatile markets. You guys see me trade during Power Hour, during Power Players, and whenever I'm on TopstepTV, I do trade. I'm a finance major, unicorn. I'm not going to analyze gold tonight. I haven't been watching gold. The two markets that I have been watching has been the NASDAQ and oil. So I'm going to focus on those for right now and until I get really comfortable on running slow markets on the Topstep YouTube. And then I might do some analysis. But I want to show you guys how I really trade. And I've been trading only on the NASDAQ and oil, and then a little bit on Nikkei. I'll go over Nikkei maybe Monday. That's the Japanese market. I'm not going to go over it tonight, but I want to show you guys how I really trade and really go over my analysis. Number one, I'm a trader first. So every night I'm looking for trades for me. Yes, I'm teaching a class. Yes, I'm doing trading concepts, but I'm honestly doing this analysis for my own personal accounts and my own trading as well. Because why would I do the analysis doing slow markets and then try and do it again, right? I would rather, what's that saying? Like, get two birds with one stone. I'm going to teach this class, help you guys out as traders. And it also gives me an opportunity to do what I do anyway. I do this analysis anyway, so why not look for my own trades first? And so a lot of my thinking out loud and a lot of what you hear me say is honestly me trading. Like, this is what's going through my head most of the time while I'm looking for trades. And tonight, I don't see a trade opportunity for the NASDAQ other than the one that I pointed out. But it's really a concept, and this is a good-looking concept. But obviously, you can see I didn't feel 100% confident to place it myself. It doesn't mean that I won't. Maybe after class, I'm going to go eat dinner. And if I look back at the markets before I go to bed and something does look more attractive to me and it's a lot better in terms of risk reward, then I could place it. Right now, I've been really liking oil. As you guys could see, the setup from last night worked really well. Like, that was such an amazing trade that I didn't take. Unfortunately, you can see where we sold off, we hit that buy limit order, and we just reversed, $1.50. So that was a great trade. I missed it, and maybe something similar happens again. I do want to be getting into long oil, because if we do break $80 a barrel, I want to make sure I take advantage of it with my Topstep accounts. Yeah, I'm gonna look at Nikkei actually. This is the Japanese market. If you guys were wondering, it looks ugly. It has a thin order book. You can see it's very sporadic and ugly looking, just because it has a thin order book. But yeah, I'm just looking at that one as well. The quality of the stream and your charts are really clear. Yeah, I mean, that's just me, baby. I hope it's good. It looks good, right? Like, the point of me doing this is so that I want to do this is anything I do, I try and do it as good as I can in terms of like the quality, the visual, because to be honest, I watch YouTube as well, and nothing frustrates me more than when I can't see something in the same resolution as my computer screen. I do play Texas Hold'em. Texas Hold'em is the only one I play. I play cash games in Las Vegas relatively frequently. This stream only goes for an hour. We have 9 more minutes, and I'm just doing a Q&A. And the reason for that is we're just doing this, yesterday and today was kind of just a test, and we're seeing how everything goes. Where are we at? We have 900 traders watching, 880, and we only have 9 likes that I see. Here's this is my goal, guys. If you guys could help me with my goal, and that is to see if one of these days, and eventually as we continue to grow the slow markets audience, to get where I have more viewers than Topstep TV during the daytime, and then get to where we have more likes than the Topstep TV daytime. So that's my goal. This is prime time. I was talking to Danielle yesterday after the stream. I'm like, this is prime time. Everyone's getting done with work. They're relaxed. They're in their pajamas. And instead of watching some boring TV show on Netflix and that's not productive and doesn't help them in their own personal goals or growth, they get to come watch, hopefully learn, and maybe I help them on their trading. So to me, this is a whole lot better than watching some program on TV. So we'll see how this goes. Anything that you guys have in terms of ideas or suggestions on how to get this slow market stream to beat Topstep TV, because yes, it's prime time. This is when everyone's relaxing. Yesterday we had everybody here. We had MP, Hogue, Andre, and I want to get this 1 hour session as good as it gets. Maybe I get a nice little intro video. Maybe I get it to where it's really planned out. And this is really raw right now. This is raw for you guys. You're going to invite your grandma to go through it. Maybe I get some amazing sound effects, some great music. But overall, I think what traders really need, and what traders come from, is the true content, right? There is tradertainment. Danielle knows and loves it. There is tradertainment. There's the entertainment perspective, but then there's the value in the hard work, the analysis, the trades. And so there's definitely a balance to make it entertaining plus very helpful for you guys. And hopefully we could find it. Yeah, we'll probably do some guests. I do have Rips coming on. We're gonna try and figure that out. Maybe Monday night we could have Rips on. It's gonna be interesting to have a second person on my stream, because you guys could see I have me. This is in the background, and then adding another person in here. There's Rips. And Jay, Coach Jay. Love to have Coach Jay on as well. MP will shut us down. We got to get those likes. And here's the thing. The likes are not only during live. The likes also count when it's a recording. So we have all the traders from around the world who also enjoy trading the overnight session and the London session. So everybody who's waking up that trades the slow market style, they could wake up, they could watch these recordings. Those also help. So we definitely have to beat Topstep TV during the day stream, regardless of whether it's likes here or whether it's likes when people are watching the recording. Now, that doesn't mean just sit there and spam it and rewatch it. Do that if you want. Maybe you find some way to get some education. And here's another thing. Maybe there's a way that I could work with you, Danielle, and some of the other Topstep crew to where we could get clips, of this 1 hour session very much like, I don't know if you guys ever watch, can I say it, any of the other news outlets like CNBC, where they have the 1 hour session and then they could take little 5-10 minute clips to where we have a trader who maybe wants to learn about NASDAQ and they don't care about oil. Well, here's the NASDAQ clip. Here's the oil clip. Yeah, Dan, see, that's the amazing thing I love about Topstep is they're always working and finding ways to improve. So there it is. What do you guys think of that? I don't know how to do a poll in YouTube yet. We'll get that squared away as well. You can put chapters. Yeah, something like that. Sounds awesome. I am in Discord, Christopher. If you do have questions for me, by the way, if you guys do have questions for me, don't be afraid to come over to our Topstep Discord and ask. All of us as coaches, we do have our own individual channel in Discord, and you can ask us questions there. You ask me. I might not always be active, but I do see and watch Discord almost every day. And if you do ask me a question in Discord, typically I'll answer it within a day. ICT. In January, I made 56K, lost 34K. February 17K, lost 11. I know exactly what you said earlier regarding the easy to gain, easy to lose. Any suggestion how I could secure more of my wins? Yeah, that's hard, right? I do love the Topstep daily loss limit. If you're using the daily loss limit at Topstep, maybe put your own daily loss limit, or maybe you have your own personal trailing. For example, if you make 3,000 and then your daily loss limit is now 0, maybe there's some type of world. I know that has helped me in a way. Because yeah, that sucks when you give back money. I mean, overall, just the way that sounds is you're profitable, right? You're just struggling to hold on to that money. What other confluences are you using to get in your trade? Tanya, everything that you see is the reasons behind I get into my trades. It primarily evolves around risk management. So if the risk reward is not there and the market's not doing what I want it to do, I typically just don't even place a trade. So I wouldn't say there's any other confluences. Maybe there's a big news event that can also say, for example, if we had a big FOMC meeting tomorrow, then I would say, I don't expect too big of a move before then. Maybe we expect some type of consolidation. Over this past week, I have made a mistake, and that's what's led to my losses. And that mistake was letting my own opinion of the higher inflation numbers affect my trading, because I had opinion like, the market's going to sell off. Because of these higher inflation numbers. But every single sell-off was just being bought up regardless of what the inflation numbers were. And that was just letting my own opinions get into my trading. So it was a mistake by me. And of course, if I didn't let my opinions get into my trading, with hindsight, yeah, maybe I wouldn't have taken those losses. Was the limit buy for CL 7800 with a 30 tick stop? I think it was a 20 tick. It was just an example, right? Don't be placing these trades. I mean, maybe you want to do it in a demo account and practice it, get used to your platform. Then sure, that definitely is an option, right? But I was just looking at this, and if we do sell off, maybe we can have an opportunity to find some support around here. And so could this be a possibility to maybe get into a long? This is what I was. Oh, here's my live account. Is it showing? Yeah, I guess it did show up. So maybe looking to get into a order submitted long here. That is an option. And then I believe I had like a a stop loss down here or something. So that is an option. Silky suits. I do have a few suits. I don't really wear them. I talked and I work with a lot of CEOs at supply chains, and it's interesting. It just seems like the whole dynamic of CEO or the C-suites have kind of changed to where it's not so uptight wearing suits all the time. It's a lot more relaxed, and more often than not, they're just in regular, comfortable street clothes. So I don't wear as many suits. Well, we're coming up on the 9 p.m. hour, guys. So I appreciate it again. Like I said, my goal is to continue to push our viewers to see how big of an audience we can get. And in doing so, hopefully be able to help a lot more traders and just outperform our TopstepTV daytime. So is that the competitor in me? Every time I'm talking, it seems like I'm working some type of side, like some type of edge, where it's me versus the like big tick swingers versus shy city, or is it now it's going to be me, slow markets versus fast markets? That's what we're going for now. Slow markets versus fast markets. I want to outperform our TopstepTV crew during the daytime. So you guys are going to be leading the charge with me. Whatever you guys, feel free to send me any suggestions on what you think will be entertaining, what can help. But the main content is not going to change. Me doing my trading, me doing my live trade analysis, that's not going to change because that's valuable to myself, and I know it's really valuable for a lot of you guys. But maybe there's some things that we could add to it to make it entertaining, right? So take care, everybody. Like I said, if you guys are still with me on the recording and you're watching this, like I said, same thing goes. We're going to beat the TopstepTV days time. Add the like button. I actually need to put that like on there as well. And thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See you, Rips. And actually not tomorrow. It's going to be Monday. Monday's the official revealing and our official start date. So we will go through and let's do it. Everyone show up Monday night. We're going to make a big splash. I mean, we've kind of already made a big splash. I need to just stop talking. Good night, everybody.